What boycotts have you stuck with long after everyone else moved on? Radio Shack. After they lost my iPod for a few months until I asked to speak with the manager who magically found it. Then the freaking guy tried to sell me some accessories. Taco Bell. Stopped eating there after the E. coli thing. Truth be told, I hardly ate at Taco Bell beforehand though. I'm surprised Radio Shack still even exists. GoDaddy.com after Sopa. For me it was always those misleading TV commercials with Danica Patrick. Visit our website to see more. Frick you GoDaddy. As someone from Liverpool, I never buy the Sun newspaper. No one in Liverpool have moved on from the boycott, but it seems like the rest of the country still buy it. My father still puts his American flag stamps upside down on mail to protest the Vietnam War. That's amazing that he still does that. Good for him. I refuse to ever use or go into a Bank of America ever again. People be about Goldman but Bo are the even bigger bloodsuckers. Here in a Canadian college town there is a bar that's over 160 years old that offers a power hour Saturday afternoons at 4 o'clock where they sell 3 beers for $5. You and all your pals get wasted, listen to Celtic music, and general rowdiness ensues. Now here's where the story gets sinister. Enter Boston Pizza, who moves in next door and files a complaint about wasted college kids outside their bar in the middle of the day. They force the city to change the liquor laws, making the aforementioned amazingness disappear. No true power hour regular has entered a Boston Pizza since. Control+F failed me here. I will never forget what PayPal did during the whole WikiLeaks fiasco. Freezing people's funds because you don't like the way they are using said funds is morally reprehensible. PayPal will never see another dime from me. I haven't ridden a bus in Montgomery, Alabama since 1955. Nestle after the baby formula controversy in Africa in the 70s. Back in college I stopped by the local pizza joint for a small pie on my way to the library. I had 2 hours before a test. I just wanted a quick lunch and then a cram session. So I ordered and sat down. But after about 20 minutes my pizza wasn't up yet. At 30 minutes I asked and the guy informed me it was almost ready. At 45 minutes I approached the register and asked where my pizza was. Guy, what did you order? Me, small pepperoni. Guy walks over to the counter and grabs an old pizza box. Hey, coworker, you forgot to put a name on a pizza again. That'll be blah blah blah. Me, I've been here 45 minutes. How long has my pizza just been sitting there? Guy, whatever, buddy, I don't know. Me, I'm not buying that. I turn to leave. Guy, hey buddy, frick you. I spent 2 more years in school and never went back. They changed owners and I never went back. I will never go back no matter who is running or working at that particular pizza place. A local singer-songwriter was dating a girl I was friends with. Mind you, he was divorced playboy in his 50s with 3 children and she was a 19-year-old virgin. Somehow the relationship lasted for more than a year. During the breakup period he punched her in the face and pleaded guilty to whatever domestic violence related charges were brought against him. To most people in this town he maintains his celebrity, is respected and liked. But I freaking loathe him and refuse to, in even a peripheral manner, support his crappy career, and by extension, his crappy ego. Ergo, the boycott. It galls me that so many people are given a pass when they commit violence like this, are told by the averted eyes of their communities that what they do is forgivable. Meanwhile the victim is told to make themselves scarce, because it makes everyone uncomfortable to be reminded of the dark stain on the conscience of a community. I refuse to watch Jay Leno because he isn't funny. I can't be bothered to watch any of them. If they do something truly funny, it usually wins up online. I still begin all my Facebook statuses with the word is, like in the good old days. Just so long as you don't change perspective throughout the status like some people do. John X is singing along to a song because I totally love it XX. I still haven't watched Titanic. I had a roommate in college who listened to the soundtrack on a loop. He was a weird guy. If you have a soul who makes you watch Titanic, just pretend Victor Garber and Billy Zane are actually starring in a buddy cop film. It really makes the movie bearable. I haven't shopped at a Walmart in 6 years because I disagree with the fact they won't sell unedited CDs, but I can buy R-rated films. M-rated video games, and guns there. I hate to go to Walmart simply because it's an awful experience and the employees are only one step above work-released prisoners. I am boycotting the Montreal Expos. According to New Era, they sell more Expos apparel now than they ever said when the team existed. So why you stand firm to your boycott? Nobody else did. I have you all beat regarding holding grudges. Way back in the day, 1984 to be more specific, I was a huge Duran fan. They did the Seven and the Ragged Tiger tour and Coke wouldn't sponsor them, Pepsi did. I boycotted Coke and here we are, at the lovely age of 41, still not drinking Coke. Not necessarily because of what happened in 84 feet, but maybe subconsciously it stuck. He calls every so often, but I absolutely refuse to speak with Connie. That video opened my eyes. Soylent Green. I'm hearing rumors I'm not liking. If you lived on Chiron Beta Prime, you would appreciate Soylent Green. I haven't bought a single EA product since they killed Westwood. I would love to never touch EA ever again, but honestly it's getting difficult with how many studios they're buying to ruin. I won't listen to Metallica anymore, lost respect for them after the Napster thing. I still occasionally pirate the entire Metallica discography and then promptly delete it. I just like thinking that hopefully they see that as it being stolen. I like Subway and there is one conveniently located down the road from where I work, so naturally I would go there often for lunch. One day I overheard some of the staff sort of mocking me because I would eat the same sandwich whenever I came in. So after that incident I have not set foot in that particular Subway since 2009. I now drive to the Subway on the other side of the city, which is far out of the way and severely cuts down on my lunch time. So not necessarily boycotting all Subways, just that particular one. I doubt those people even work there anymore. I stopped watching MTV after Twilight beat The Dark Knight for Best Movie. Your mistake was thinking MTV would make good decisions in the first place. Chris Brown. I still can't believe he's been so widely forgiven even though he's shown multiple times he hasn't changed, learned or shown any sort of remorse for his actions. All the people boycotting Chris Brown never bought his music in the first place. I refuse to use any ATM machine that charges any money to use. I also don't go to gas stations, stop and go type stores that have a debit fee. I will be buying $5 in snacks and sodas, and if it says a 35-cent debit fee I will say never mind and leave. Atoms are the ridiculous ones though. $3 to take out 40, frick you. I paid a $6 fee at a Vegas ATM to take out $20. Never felt so fricked before. I'm with you on the Leno thing. I've been a Conan fan for so long. The way that all went down pee me off so much. Not that I was a Leno fan before, but I did enjoy headlines. I hate seeing his smug face and logo before Fallon starts. I deleted my Facebook account about a year ago due to its privacy policy and neutrality on the stance of internet freedom. Haven't turned back. I am mostly on the barren wasteland of G+, talking to myself and masturbating. So you're scared about privacy? Better tell Google more about myself. Domino's Pizza since the Noid. Bar. Lufthansa for being so extraordinarily rude and also for sending my bags to Nairobi on purpose. Air Canada. I still want my bags back. Damn it. VW since I bought a rabbit to replace my Beetle. I'm sorry Herbie. MTV. Starbucks. Cablevision. Oh. And now the NHL. I miss NHL. Why would they hurt us? Sony BMG after the rootkit scandal, and that's an absolute I've never broken. Sony Computer Entertainment after multiple issues, both legal and functional, since about 2005. I refuse to directly buy anything from them, avoid their products when possible, and make do with second-hand when it comes to PS2 and PSP titles. My PS2 and PSP being older than my boycott and third-hand respectively. I really should boycott Sony Pictures too, but I too often forget to check the distributor before I go see a film with friends. I realize my said boycott is pretty loose, but I'm an omnivorous gamer who has yet to play a huge number of must-play titles this generation because of aforementioned boycott, MGS4, Journey, LBP, the whole of Uncharted, and more besides. Yay, a fellow Sony boycotter. I thought I was the only one left. As the story goes, my great-great-grandfather settled the family debts with the general store in Wilkes-Barre, PA. It cost them everything they had, but they were glad to be rid of it. Sometime after the Depression, the owner of the store came out and yelled at my great-great-grandfather for being a deadbeat and not paying his bill in front of the entire town. To this day, no one in my family is allowed to buy kielbasa from a Dabrowski. Guess how I know you're Polish? I still can't stand Charlie Sheen and his behavior, no matter how awesome he is. There, I've said it. I don't know if that's because I'm European, but I've watched 2.5 Men and never understood why Americans love him so much. He was never a good actor, nor did Tam ever had good actors, but as a person he is clearly in butthole. Ubisoft. I quit buying their stuff when the first DRM nonsense hit, haven't gone back, even though some of their titles really make me want to. Just buy pre-owned. They don't see a dime of that money. Exxon. I would still push my car past an Exxon station and then Mobil since they associated themselves. Didn't have anything against them, but if they are commingled, how can you know? Also, I wouldn't watch a movie with Mel Gibson since his rant, or Tom Cruise since he took after Brooke Shields. He was creepy before, but he sealed his fate with me after that one. Does MTV still exist? After 120 went and MTV2 stopped playing good music, they were kind of dead to me. There's a bar I used to frequent about twice a week in my neighborhood in Chicago. I had friends that worked there. It's walking distance and they have free pool and a good jukebox. The drinks are cheap, too. The clientele is mostly young hipster or yuppie types. To boil it down easily, mostly white. The owner is a crotchety old man who sits and drinks crème de menthe about 2 hours before close every night. One time while in there, I watched him angrily tell a black customer, who, without exaggerating, was in there maybe 60% of the times I was ever there, he was always there playing pool, that he needed to go because he didn't buy a beer and he wasn't welcome. I'd heard stories of his discrimination but had never seen it. The bartender, a younger girl, was visibly upset about the whole thing. She quit soon after. My friends still go to play pool there sometimes, but I refuse to support that man, no matter what. If you're in Wicker Park, avoid Innertown pub. Lol, you missed one. BP gas stations since the spill, and Target since they forced my wife to find another job after her giving them a year of hard work by cutting her down to 8 hours of work each week. Been 4 years and haven't set foot in that store. I think the tipping point that caused me to boycott avoid BP stations is when the BP chains ARCO and AMPM rebranded to remove all the BP logos. I refuse to say grand at Starbucks. I'm sticking with medium. That's me boycotting adapting to new words for words we already have. Really not a fan of King Leopold II. A little late, but still relevant. It isn't much of a boycott, but I don't know if I will ever forgive Michael Vick for what he did to those dogs. That's a terrible thing to do to innocent animals. I guess I'm continuing to not eat Papa John's because evidently his bootstraps aren't tough enough to be pulled up above Obamacare. Chris Brown. For some reason people have forgiven him for not just viciously beating his girlfriend, but then having the gall to blame her for his rage. Then the whole breaking a window just because Robin Roberts asked you about it. I refuse to listen to his music. If I hear him on the radio I immediately change it. I roll my eyes every time he wins some award and cringe in the mention of his name. I have zero tolerance for domestic abuse, especially by unrepentant buttholes. Won't watch Tom Cruise after he went crazy. So basically everything up to War of the Worlds. Tom Cruise has always been crazy. The difference was his PR representation. I think when he first came out of the crazy closet, which was before What Wimmo, he was being represented by his sister. Also, I still enjoy the guy and crazy bus Mel Gibson in movies. I'm boycotting Obama after this term. 8 years will be enough. I won't ever vote for him to be president again. He could come back as VP then have the prez resign after 2 years and be back for an extra 2 years too if he wanted to. Back in the late 90s, Crest ran a campaign polling people on who the least kissable celebrity was, and Rosie O'Donnell was on the list. Made it kinda high. Well, I was a young gay boy at the time and so, naturally, I watched her show every day after school. That poll really hurt her feelings, and it bothered me that such a nice, charming person could be fricked with like that for lols. Well, she and Colgate ran a campaign on her show getting people to switch toothpastes and I followed suit immediately. Haven't looked back since. In fact, that old brand still rustles my jimmies. I've never even liked Colgate's strong minty flavor, so it's an actual sacrifice, small though it may be. Correction, it wasn't Crest, but Scope that ran the poll. Listerine was the company that Rosa worked with afterward. Remember everyone, your memory is deceitful above all things. Beck. Ever since I found out he's a Scientologist, I can't listen to his music anymore. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.